Hey guys, it is Julie here with JT.Wealth. Today we have some big news regarding the USPS contract and Workhorse, so let's get into it. All right, welcome back everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Before we get started, just a quick reminder to make sure that you hit that like button down below and make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Today marks our 30th video, so happy 30th to me. Okay, so Workhorse has their earnings coming up on Monday, so we have a lot to discuss. So we are going to discuss that upcoming earnings report, the CEO of Workhorse and his appearance on Fast Money, some comments from the Postmaster General, and the biggest news, guys, which is that USPS contract update, so make sure you stick around for that. We're also going to cover a bit of Ford news, some ARK Holdings updates, and some positive impacts from the Lordstown SPAC. All right, so like I mentioned, it's Monday pre-market that Workhorse is going to be coming out with their earnings report. So this is going to be for the period ending June 2020. Our consensus EPS forecast is -12 cents per share. At close on Friday, we were around $16.52, but we do have a price target of $21.50. So that's a 30% upside there, which is always great to see. The CEO of Workhorse, Dwayne Hughes, was recently interviewed on Fast Money, where he was asked to comment on the USPS contract. He did say, however, that due to a gag order, he was not able to comment at that time. What he did say, though, is that Workhorse is in its strongest cash position ever, with over $100 million sitting in cash right now. With the 300 vehicles that they are currently contracted to build, plus anticipation of that USPS contract, this cash holding puts them in a really positive position towards production. One thing to note is that in the past, Workhorse's revenues were largely put back into research and development. So now that they're kind of out of that R&D phase and more into that production phase, that shouldn't be such a significant drain on their revenues. Okay, so on to USPS, who had an open session last Friday where we got to hear from the new Postmaster General. So he did address some concerns that his relationship with the president could have some effect on his decision making, to which he emphatically stated the following. First, while I certainly have a good relationship with the President of the United States, the notion that I would ever make decisions concerning the Postal Service at the direction of the President or anyone else in the administration is wholly off base. So there you have it. Take that as you will. Avert your eyes. No influence here. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All is settled. Okay, so now on to what everybody has been waiting for, and that is the big update on the USPS contract. Now, you may have gathered it from our thumbnail, but one of the 4 companies is out of the bid. That is right. Mahindra is Ma'outra. Sorry, cheesy joke, couldn't help myself. But that means that overnight, their chances for this contract went from 25% to over 33%. Now, keep in mind as well that the other 2 companies remaining in this bid, the biggest competitor is seen to be Ford, who is partnered with Oshkosh. But allegedly, their vehicle isn't hybrid or even EV, it's gas-powered. There have also been some big moves in Ford's leadership lately too, and we're going to touch back on that in a second. Now, the only other company left in the running is Karsan, who is a Turkish-based company who is working with a Michigan-based company to produce a plug-in hybrid option. So I still feel that Workhorse is an obvious front-runner for this $6 billion contract, or at least a pretty big chunk of it. But we will just have to wait and see. Okay, so that Ford shakeup that I mentioned. In the middle of this big potential contract bid, Ford President and CEO Jim Hackett just announced that he is retiring. He will be replaced by Ford's current COO, Jim Farley, and that will take place on October 1st. So this is a huge change in the middle of these contract negotiations and could cause some questioning from the USPS. Now on to the ARK ETF and the wonderful Cathie Wood. So I mentioned in my last video that the ARK fund had seriously increased their shareholdings in the Workhorse stock, and that trend has continued. Previously, the ARK ETF held about 393,000 shares, and as of Friday, August 7th, they now hold 427,130 shares, which is an increase of over 33,000 shares in just a week. Now, obviously, Cathie Wood is a huge fan of disruptive technology and has been highlighted for her massive bullish stance on Tesla. But I think it is worth noting that for someone who is very bullish on Tesla and who looks at EV vehicles as the future of the automotive industry, that the only other EV company held in ARK's fund there is Workhorse. So that should tell you something. All right, guys, lastly, I just want to remind everybody of the exciting Lordstown SPAC and how this is going to massively increase revenue for Workhorse over this upcoming year. This will not be represented on Monday's earnings report, but it will certainly be on everybody's mind as we look forward to the future outlook for this company. Okay, so those are my quick highlights and updates on Workhorse. I know Monday I will certainly be watching for that earnings report, and I love that the USPS contract is down to 3 companies. I think that puts Workhorse in a really strong position, and their future is looking exciting. How about you guys? Leave a comment, let me know what are your thoughts surrounding Workhorse, your position in it, where you think it's gonna go. If you made it all the way to the end, make sure you give us a like as well and that you're subscribed. Have a great weekend. Cheers.